Hi, honey. How are you?
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Glad to have you with us. Again, shout out to the amazing team at the Fort Lauderdale
Thank
Behavioral
you.
Health Center. We've been looking forward to this chat since the last week. May Mental Health Awareness Month. So you guys have partnered up with us to bring us not only mental health tips, but we're also, celebrating our first responders on Fridays.
Yes,
Hooking them up with
amazing
lunch.
job.
But Tati, I do want to get right into it. Last week, one of my listeners actually sent me a DM after our first conversation with you guys, and asked if we could talk about mental health and how it's impacting and affecting, teenagers right now, especially, being away from their friends, not having that normal routine that they would have with school, being somewhat isolated. Do you have any insight? Maybe we can discuss a little bit, about that topic in particular, and then ways that you guys can kind of help people that are dealing with issues get through those.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, this has been a new normal for everybody, including the kids, transitioning from being very active in school and sports and activities to just having to stay at home. It was a huge transition from one day to the other day, a huge change.
Yep.
So, being lost, I'll say, okay, how I'm going to handle this? What is going to work for me? The parents play an important role right now in the kids' life, because it's important to validate how they feel. It's new for them, being able to say, okay, we're all, as a family, as a community, the whole world is going to a transition, to a hard time. How can we deal with this in the healthiest way?
Yeah.
Being more empathic and more self-compassion of what's going on. Being able to sit down and say, okay, what are you feeling right now? What we are feeling right now. We never have the opportunity to really get in contact with ourselves. We were so active in life, working and socializing. And sometimes we didn't even want to get in contact with ourselves, because there's some things that we don't like, or it's too painful, that we try to stay away from it. So being able to sit down with our kids, with ourselves, even as a parents, as adults, and say, okay, what I am going through, what is this feeling? Scan your body, being able to say, yes, I have a lot of anxiety. Where is this anxiety coming from? It's coming from fear of getting sick.
The unknown,
Fear of the unknown, you're right. Fear of losing my job. Fear of mom losing her job and then losing our house. Fear of when I'm going to go back to school. When it's going to end the situation. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. And being able to say to them, you know what, there's no wrong or bad emotions. That's what you feel. Let's validate that. Let's work on that. What we can do to lower our levels of anxiety and our fear, trusting, okay, I have this positive anxiety that's activating me to follow the the CDC guidelines. We're safe, we're healthy, we're making sure that you're wearing my mask, keeping social distancing, washing my hands. So in that part, we are doing what we are supposed to do. And as parents, being able to share that thoughts with the kids, ask them that you have any question, talk to them in a very simple and clear way. On the other way, it's very important that we keep contact with social life, Okay, social distancing, it's the one that's going to help us keep ourselves healthy and safe. But at the same time, we need to have be emotionally in contact with people. How we do that? We have a very different way today to connect. First, we need to identify our inner circle. Who's the people in our life that are important for us? My family members, my most close friends. We need to keep in contact with them. Identify that person, that touch point person that I'm going to be able to share my emotions. If we are teenagers, we have a good friend. Talk to your friend about it. How I feel, this is crazy. I miss you guys. I miss the touch. I miss even smelling you. But we have different ways now to communicate. Now I can see your face. You see my face. We're hearing our voices. That's our way to be in contact, to know that we are alive and that we are supporting each other. It is not only happening to me, it's happening to the whole world.
I want to go back to what you said. I loved it. It was one of the first things that you said about parents validating their young people's feelings. I think that a lot of times, and especially in high stress situations, and this is not a knock on any of the parents out there, because my goodness, right now, like you said, we're talking about job loss. We're talking about food insecurity. We're talking about people, you know, worried about where rent or the mortgage payment is going to come from. That's a lot to carry. But our young people are so perceptive and they feel that energy, right? Especially when you're stuck in a house with one another or in a very close, you know, confined space. How can parents do that? And how important is it that they understand that while they may not be feeling the financial pressures that as parents we feel, as providers we feel, there's a whole other world, like you said, of emotions and feelings and experiences that young people go through that as adults oftentimes we can no longer relate to, right? Like we don't understand. And a lot of them, like you said, you know, are used to being able to kind of channel that into sports or into arts programming or into just their classwork. They have these other outlets where they're really able to kind of get away from the scary thoughts, or at least pretend like they don't exist. I recommend that in a household, you know, with parents and young people, how do you recommend that the young people approach their parents if they're going through things? And then how do you recommend that the parents become better at, like you said, listening and validating those feelings?
Sure. Yes. I feel that the most important, the first step that we have to do as parents, as an adults, is check ourselves, right? If I'm very stressed or I'm going through a lot of anxiety, it's very hard to be empathic towards others because I'm in my own world, as you said, trying to find out how I'm going to get the money, you know, how I'm going to provide the security to my house. But it's important to have in mind, yes, I have kids, as you said, what I'm feeling, they are connected with us. We are connected creatures. We're connected since we are born. So first checking ourselves, okay, as I said before, I have a lot of anxiety, I have a lot of fear, working on my body, mindfulness, you know, doing a lot of grounding techniques, breathing helps a lot, finding my safe place, my imaginary safe place so I can calm down. When I calm down and I'm able to name what's going on inside of me, then I'm going to be able to connect with my kids and sit down. I know this is a hard time. I want you to tell me how you feel, any questions that you have. Because we are so used to saying, you don't have to cry or you don't have to be sad. Everything is fine. You don't have to, you know, be anxious. You don't have to worry about mommy's handling. No, yes, they have the right to feel that way. That's what they're feeling. We have to validate that.
Well, I was gonna sometimes when somebody tells you that, then you suppress those feelings, because if somebody's telling you don't cry, there's nothing to worry about. Now, if that's what's inside of you, sometimes you need to let that go, right? Like you need to express that and get it out. Otherwise it sits in there and it festers and it builds and then it ends up exploding at some point, right?
Yes. And making them feel that this is your safe place with your parents or your caregiver, whatever, you know, if you're living with mom, dad, or aunt or grandmother, you are able to communicate with me. I'm here for you. We are a team. We are a team. When I work with my kids, you know, we are a team in this. If we're working in the hospital, we have our team is psychiatrists, is a therapist. The parents are very important to educate them on mental health. It's very hard for a parent to identify, yes, my kid is going through depression. Yes, my kid is suffering. It's too hard. It's too painful.
Well, because they take responsibility for that, right? Like it's very hard for parents to separate what their children are going through versus, you know, what their role in that is. You know what I mean? So it's like, as a parent, I think for parents, when they acknowledge that their child is going through something like that, they almost take ownership or responsibility for it, as opposed to realizing that this is something that their child as an individual is experiencing, right? So it's like you said, acknowledging that almost is like them saying, I played a role in creating this. And maybe in some cases they did, but in other times, it's not about you, mom and dad.
It's not about you.
It's
It's
about
not
the
about
kid.
me. Definitely. It's about me and how we can learn to cope with this. The first step is that validating, putting a name to how you feel. And then the next step, okay, how we're going to cope with this together as a family. We need, again, to connect. We need to activate our body. You can't go to the gym right now. We can't do that, right? We can't socialize and go to the movies. We can't do that. But there's different new ways. There's new ways of connecting. We have the blessing of social media, the blessing of Zoom, what we're doing right now. You know, connecting. I learned from my kids, you know, we have Netflix party. Let's watch a movie with other friends, right? Let's download this exercise app and exercise with a friend. Let's host a dinner. Let's host a happy hour. We need to engage them in activities in this new form of living to keep ourselves active and connected.
Do you have any tips for families that, like, because obviously, you know, you're so insightful, but you work in this space, you know what I mean? And I'm sure your family has probably struggled at its own times, you know, and it's a constant work in progress. But do you have any tips for families? So if there's young people watching this IG Live right now, again, Tati from the amazing team at the Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center, checking in for our Wellness Wednesday IG Live. Do you have any tips for how to start better communication, you know, as far as in that family unit? Because let's be honest, it doesn't come easily to everybody.
No, I understand. You're totally right. The tip that I will give, again, you know, first working on myself, then let's do a family meeting. Let's sit down. If we are a family of 4, let's sit down together. Okay, let's create first questions. What's going on? Okay, this is what's going on. This is our actual situation, financial, healthy situation at home. Then my next step, okay, let's create a schedule for the family. Know what are the things that we can do together as a family, or the things that, you know, you need personal time. We all need personal time right now. Parents, even kids, they're overwhelmed with the parents. We were not used to having our parents
this
all
much
the
time together
in the same environment, or again, we were not used to having our kids 24 hours in the same environment. So let's plan. Okay, I need me time, you need your time, your personal time. Let's work it out, you know, by days, by hours. You will have, or let's create a password. When I am in red, that means that I need my personal time. I need to breathe. I need to be with myself, and we need to respect that. At the same time, okay, there's other days that we can do different activities. And there is a lot of resources out there. A lot of free resources that we can use. Like I was providing resources, like we have like apps, like the Nike app. It's free right now. Where they provide a lot of exercise, different types, Pilates, meditation, yoga, core if you want to do it. There's even Oprah Winfrey, she had a meditation app for 21 days, also free as a gift. We can use that. It's a wonderful tool to calm down our anxiety, to work our mind, to work our body, and to stay active and connected. We can do it with somebody else. So we need resources. We need tools to calm ourselves down. There's a lot of meditation apps, a lot of apps for grounding techniques, breathing techniques. And that's what we need to do. Stay connected and active, and communication, validation. Every kid, we need to validate how they feel, because they are going through a lot, not only at home. Social media plays a huge role in the kids. You know, sometimes they even lose their identity because they're telling them so many things and they're not validating how they feel.
Tati, adults lose their identity on social media. Never mind young people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a whole other conversation that hopefully we'll be able to get into. This was just something I really wanted to talk about with you because, like I said, we got a few DMs from some of our loyal listeners. Mental health and mental health awareness, ending the stigma, is so important to our team here at Quarantine Radio 97.3. Obviously so important to you over there at the Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center. You're mentioning resources. I know you're mentioning grounding techniques, breathing techniques. Obviously these are things that folks who are in therapy, who have sought out professional help, which is amazing. And I highly recommend to anybody watching. There is absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help, going for help, trying to be ahead of the curve, just finding somebody that you can talk honestly with that really has no vested interest other than your mental health and well-being, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about that a little bit last week, why therapy is so beneficial. And when you're sitting across from somebody who doesn't know all of your friends, isn't going to go back and tell people what you told them, or you don't have that fear in the, you know, and they're really just kind of a blank page.
Yes.
And a great tool for you to bounce things off of. So again, that's therapy in a nutshell, and I highly recommend it. But with that being said, where can we find those grounding techniques? Where can we find those breathing techniques? Obviously, besides the Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center, or even there, how can we get to those?
There's many resources outside of first, you know, Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center. We're open doors, welcoming everybody, kids, adults, young adults. We are here for you. It's our passion to serve to the community. But there's also resources outside. As I said, there's a lot of apps that we can download, search it up. But I was telling you, like the one from Oprah Winfrey, Nike, meditation. You put meditation up and you're going to find many. Grounding techniques. We have grounding techniques with breathing exercises. Also, you can search it up with that name and you will find a lot. I work a lot with my trauma clients, you know, a safe place, creating a safe place. Like my safe place is the beach. So using your five senses, you know, smell, seeing, touch, hearing is very important because it makes you feel here and now. It makes you help calm down. A lot of breathing, tapping, bilateral movement. I always tell my clients tapping is very simple, and you're stimulating your both sides of your brain, and it's by breathing it helps you calm down.
I didn't even realize that. So is it just like this?
Just like this. You can do it like this. You can do it like this. If you are in a meeting and you want to do it with your feet, you can do it. You're stimulating your both sides of your brain, and that's helping you process the information in a healthiest way and easiest way. And breathing, we breathe. It's very important to breathe in slowly, breathe out longer. That helps too. We have the tools. We just need to use them.
Yeah, no, and I think that's especially important for young people. You know, anybody that's watching this IG live, the breathing thing, as I found that later, you know, I had a lot of anxiety. I had anger, especially like when I was in high school, like just built up frustration. And I had an amazing childhood. So it has nothing, you know what I mean? You don't have to necessarily have gone through severe trauma, right?
Yes.
To deal with things down the line, to have depression. Like, that's what I'm saying, is like, you don't have to feel like, oh, I don't deserve to have this, or I shouldn't be complaining. Like, we all go through emotions in life, right? Like, it's a part of what we do.
That's part of being human. That's part of being human. That's
100%. And trying to pretend like you're okay all the time. It's not only a disservice to yourself, you know, but it's a disservice to the people who love you, because, you know, as friends, I think sometimes, you know, you mentioned just being aware, as parents being aware. If something feels off about somebody, especially in times like this, you know, ask the questions.
Yes.
Take the first step to check and see if somebody is okay. If you feel like they're withdrawn, if you feel like they're pulling away, if something just seems off about their personality, I think it's very important that we become okay with asking one another, are you okay?
Yeah.
And really making somebody answer that question honestly.
And it's okay to not be okay.
Yes. But you know,
it's okay to feel, to have, there's no wrong or bad emotion, you know? Fear, we all feel fear. And kids are really good at masking their emotions. They're 100%. Really, really good at that. So we need to find ways to connect with them. When you connect with a kid, when you connect with a human being, they open up.
Yes.
When they feel that they connect with you, it's easier for them to talk about it.
But so, Tati, as a therapist, I want to ask you this, because it's something we talk about here in the hallways at the radio station. How often somebody will walk by you and ask, oh, how are you? And literally before you can answer, they're already down the hall, right? We're conditioned to ask something without really caring about what the response is going to be. And I would hope that in this time, I think if there's one thing that I can encourage anybody to do is that when you ask somebody how they're doing, stop and wait for an answer and look that person in the eye when they're giving it to you. You know what I mean? And that's where you'll get your real answer. They might say everything is fine, but it's one of those things where it's like, are you really though? Like, and that's my bigger thing is I really want everybody to start, especially the people that you care about. When you ask that question, wait for a response and make sure it's an honest response. And if you feel like something is off, ask them again. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Really, are you okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? But we have to be present for one another.
We have to be present. You have to make feel the other person that I'm here. I'm listening to you, seeing in your eyes, you know, feeling what you are telling me. It's important. That connection. We are humans that connect. We're connecting always. And look, we found a way to connect now. These days. We have
faces,
voices.
And that's another reason why I think therapy and the services that are provided at the Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center are so important, because that is your job. And like you said, it's your passion. It's not a job. It's a passion. You guys are passionate about what you do. You're passionate about helping people. You're passionate about helping people get control of their, you know, of their feelings. And that's the most important thing, is understanding it. Because I think when we don't understand why we're feeling what we're feeling, or we don't know how to get it under control to some degree, that's when that fear really does set in. But when you have the tools, when you know, let me stop for a second, let me breathe. Like, it's amazing how that one deep breath, or those two, or that 60 seconds of just slowing down can completely change your perspective on a situation, on how you react to things. Like, that's something for me that I've had to learn as I've gotten older and had to work with people, right? It's one of those things where it's like stopping down, breathing through the frustration. Your response is so different. And then with that, the trajectory of a whole conversation, of a relationship, is different based off of your reaction, because you stopped and you took a breath before you said something that you couldn't take back, or whatever the case may be.
Breathing and letting it out. When we let it out, you feel a huge relief.
No, you really do. So, Tati, you're amazing. I love this conversation. Again, hopefully anybody listening, you know, you're taking away some of these tools. I know that there's so many amazing people over there at the Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center that are ready to help, ready to listen, ready to provide you with tools. What is the website, and how can people get in contact with you guys?
That Kayla will provide it to you. I don't have it here right now, but it will be, like Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center.
I was going to say, Kayla, I think Kayla is in the live. Kayla, you can text the website, maybe just comment the website and the Facebook page and that stuff would be fantastic. Obviously, we are teamed up with you guys for the rest of the month, so we'll be checking in every Wellness Wednesday live on IG with another one of your team members. But this has been a really, there it is, facebook.com. Nick with the win, facebook.com/FLBHC. And I know you guys are located throughout, are you throughout South Florida? You're one of the largest.
We are, yes. We're not, we're largest, yes. In Fort Lauderdale, we are, yes, in Oakland Park, yes, here in Fort Lauderdale.
And I really just encourage parents, especially because it, you know, it really does start with you and you creating a comfortable environment and an open environment for your young people to be honest about the things that we are struggling with. I think so many people, you know, grew up in households where, like you said, we didn't talk about these things. Parents didn't want to acknowledge that depression was real, or that there was anxiety. And let's be honest, in a lot of families, this is hereditary. Like, you know, if you look back, if we're really honest with ourselves, it's not unique to your particular household. This is something that's been happening. And if we would just have that conversation, you'd be amazed at how quickly the stigma would change from, you know, negative and embarrassing to one of acceptance. And let's fix the problem.
Yes. And one, Yes, you're right. And one of our roles in Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center is educating the parents, encouraging the parents to be part of the mental health of their kids. Because as I told you, this is a team. We have to do it together as a team. The kids can't do it by themselves. Parents can't do it by themselves. The psychiatrist or the therapist can't work by herself. We need to work as a team. So being connected and opening up and encouraging people to ask for help, you know. Therapy is for functional people also, not only for dysfunctional people. We all need that safe space where we can talk about anything, not being judged, having somebody not even telling you what to do, just to listen to you and provide you with the tools to work it out.
I double down on it every time we talk about it. You'd be amazed at the problem solving you can do for yourself when you just speak the words out loud, right? Like when you're sitting across from somebody, as they're coming out of your mouth and you're actually saying them out loud, the answers come to you. But when you leave everything locked up in here, and when you have all of your feelings just compressed inside of you, you can't figure anything out. It's straight chaos.
Yes, and what happens? What happens with your physical part when you keep things in and don't express yourself? Then you begin having a lot of somatic symptoms. You begin to get sick, right? Your immune system goes down. So it's a lot of stuff going on. Not only being able to express yourself, is relieving your physical part.
It's all connected. When we say, when your health involves your mental and your physical and your emotional wellness, for sure. My grandmother always used to say, break down the word disease, and it's dis-ease. When you think about what disease is, dis-ease, you're uncomfortable, it's sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it's holding on to anger or resentment or frustration. It's not expressing yourself. So again, Tati, you can clearly go on forever. Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center is on Facebook. It is facebook.com/FLBHC. They are here to help. Again, if we don't start addressing things with young people, we carry that over into adulthood, right? It's a cycle that just continues. So it's so important to the young people listening right now. Again, your feelings are valid. You always have people and resources to talk to. Even if you don't feel comfortable doing it in your own home, you can reach out to the team at the Fort Lauderdale Behavioral Health Center. You can always slide in our DMs here at the New Hits 97.3 and we can connect you guys. But please know you are not alone in any of this.
We are
all we are all going through this same craziness together. So if anybody is suffering in any way, please do not suffer in silence and do not suffer alone.
Reach out, and we are here for you guys with passion and dedication.
We love you guys. I'm so glad that we've been able to partner up with you guys for Mental Health Awareness Month. Tati, I'm losing you a little bit, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then we'll be checking in again next Wednesday.
Sure. Thank you so much.
My love.
Bye.
Be safe and stay blessed, okay? Be
you
healthy.
Too. Bye.
Bye.